Alright, welcome back guys. This is Mr. Rip and this is 7.35b patch notes. I'm going to try and keep this short. Basically, everything that was super broken that everybody was talking about immediately got nerfed, right? So we can just look right here. Pavis got a nerf, Solar Crest got a nerf. You can't self-cast it to get the attack speed or the movement speed anymore. Shiva's got a nerf. So yeah, it's kind of like an immediate reset, which is interesting. But we'll look at it a little bit more. So Bloodstone doesn't restore mana anymore. Minor number nerfs on Eternal Shroud. Helm of Iron Will. I don't think these are like a huge difference. You'll probably still buy these items if they were good on you anyway. Kaya Sange a little bit. Mage Slayer got a buff. Manta Style small buff. Meteor Hammer got a nerf, which is good because I think that item is not so great anymore. Pavis is looking really unattractive now. I mean, it still has the 300 barrier on it, which is good. But, I don't know, you're not getting extra armor, extra mana, and you get like plus 25 health now when you purchase it, because Fluffy Hide's 125. So it's like, eh. Kaya Sange gets more attack speed, which is good. Shiva's isn't giving 20 armor anymore. It's losing a little bit of stats and regen. Solar Crest, less armor, less stats. But now it has a 100 mana cost on it, and you can't self-cast to get the bonus move speed or the attack speed. Or the armor, so you'd only be self-casting to get the 400 physical barrier, because that only blocks physical damage, not magical or pure. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't think you're going to be buying this on strength heroes, because they don't have a lot of mana. You will still probably buy this as a support, but I don't think carries will be buying this for themselves anymore, like, obviously. And I don't even think a lot of supports will be buying this either, because 100 mana is a lot, and it's not giving any mana regen. It does give mana pool, but eh. I kind of wish they'd revert Solar Crest back to the old one and give back Medallion, to be honest. It's still a good item for supports if you can afford it. Veil Minor nerf. Vlad's is now disassemblable because it doesn't have a recipe anymore. So that's kind of interesting. That might open up some options. Especially with the Ring of Bazzi in it. Yasha buff, Yasha Kaya buff. It looks like, because they buffed Yasha, everything that goes off Yasha is buffed as well. So Manta, Sanjin Yasha, Yasha, Kaya Yasha. And I have Cowboy Bebop music on in the background. So Abaddon, minor nerf, minor buff to Alchemist. Pretty nice buff to Beastmaster, getting cooldown on Boar. And Primer Roar cooldown. Bristleback got a buff on the damage threshold and Bristleback abilities. That's good. CM's Crystal Clone no longer has base magic resistance, so I guess it's easier for her to trigger it, which is good. That's good for her, because you want that thing to die. Armor for Willow. Dazzle, it says this only does damage. It's not saying the heal, but I'm assuming it's also the heal. So that goes up by 10 at all levels, which is pretty good. Which is probably to compensate for the fact that he can't be played as a core anymore, so now he's going to be a better support, which is great, because Dazzle's one of my favorite heroes. Death Prophet's Silence gets a little bit equalized, so it's a little bit longer level 1, and it's shorter level 4. I guess that means stronger mid-game, early mid-game timing. Spirit Siphon has a 40-second cooldown instead of or a charge restore time instead of 38. That's a weird number. Duration got nerfed by 0.2 on the Fear. Wake Up damage threshold on Elder Titan, that's increased a little bit. Faceless Void can't time lock denies. And you got a slight damage nerf on that. And a damage nerf on the talent as well. Juggernaut got some interesting buffs. So the Blade Fury mana cost is now 100 all the time. And the damage per tick goes up. But keep in mind that this does damage based on his attack speed. So, like, that spell is going to be sort of more of a late game spell a little bit, which is weird to think about if you want to be using it for damage. It does a lot if you have a ton of attack speed, but yeah, it's weird. Leshrac Split Earth, so that gets 2-second more cooldown. Agshard Radius decreased. Increase per strike decreased by 10, basically. And then Lightning Storm now has scaling attack slow instead of just a flat 50. So this should definitely, like, nerf him down a few pegs. I think he'll still be good if the meta fits him and if the items are good, which they are. But he's not going to be, like, an absolute powerhouse anymore. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a Leshrac player, so I don't know how much 2 seconds on Split Earth, like, really matters. But this Lightning Storm nerf definitely hurts his lane phase a lot, because I think this is one of the main reasons why he was like so good. Because it's pretty hard to last it effectively when you're losing 50 attack speed in mid. Lone Druid got 5% less lifesteal off Spirit Link. Lycan Wolves, let's see, 20, 23, 38, 40, 22, 24, 40, 42. So Wolves got +2 damage across the board. So nice buff there. Shapeshift, he gets 50 more health. And crit damage goes up by 0, 10, 20%. So nice Lycan buffs. Medusa Mana Shield value is now calculated before Eternal Shroud's Mana Restoration. So I'm assuming this is to fix an interaction that was kind of busted on her, but I don't know because I never see Medusa get picked. Base agility increased by 1 on Monkey King. Soldier attack interval decreased from 1.2 to 1.1. Okay. It sounds like a nerf, but normally you would want a lower interval, right? So I don't know. Maybe this is like a BAT or something. Morphling gets 4 seconds on Morph. Nice. Muerte gets a nice buff in that her Shard is retroactive, kind of like Pudge Flesh Heap. So that's pretty good. Omni Knight gets 10 seconds less charge restore time on Guardian Angel, so be able to cast those more often. I still don't know if this is very good because you can still dispel this. I think I would rather have the team-wide version than the single target one, but this hero's not very good anyway. Cybrick is saying that's a buff on Wukong's command. Okay, so it's kind of how I'm thinking about it, right? Like you want them to be attacking. Less interval between attacks is good, right? Yeah, that makes sense. OG got a whole bunch of nerfs. This is in addition to Meteor Hammer sort of getting nerfed, if I'm remembering that right. Arcane Orb gets 1% less mana pool to damage. Astral Imprisonment does 30 less damage level 1, so then goes back to normal level 4. Essence Flux Scepter cooldown went up 20 seconds, and Sanity's Eclipse Mana Allergy no longer deals damage. So a whole bunch of nerfs for everyone's favorite mid laner. Pango Swashbuckle Slash Width went up 15, okay. PA got some buffs. Dagger does more damage by 5%, okay. And she gets 20 more attack speed on Phantom Strike. Blur gets 5-second more duration, and she gets +3% max health damage on Fan of Knives. But remember, this is physical, not pure anymore, so that's not as good as it sounds. It's still good though. Rubik, let's see, 4-second, so what? -4, -2, -0, cooldown on Spell Steal. Spirit Breaker can no longer proc Phylactery or Conda from across the map because it's on impact instead of cast, so that's good. So no more clips of him one-shotting people for 16,000 magic damage. Sven got some strength on Great Cleave, nice. Techie's Sticky Bomb radius and explosion radius went up, so maybe we'll see more of this hero. I don't know. TA, she gets, what? Refraction, a little bit less mana. Cooldown went down a little bit. She gets 50 extra attack range on side blades. That does sound like pretty good, though. I don't know. TB Conjure Image. Illusion damage taken reduced by 25%. Cool. Timbersaw now has scaling mana cost on Whirling Death. I think he can handle that. And he gets 0.1 less armor per stack on reactive armor. So when you're getting to a lot of stacks, that's going to make a big difference. But otherwise, he should feel roughly the same. Tiny got a bunch of buffs, and he just was starting to get played again when they just changed toss mana cost by 30, and that started making him get played a lot last patch, or 7.34E. He was starting to get played, I think. So avalanche damage went up to 5 to 20 damage. Toss, same thing, 5 to 20 damage. And then Tree Grab gets 15% more splash level 1, and then it scales back to normal at 100% level 4. So Tiny doing a lot more damage. This also makes... This helps him out a lot. This helps him secure last hits if he wants to with Avalanche. This helps support Tiny. This obviously helps core Tiny as well. Just expect to see a lot more Tiny. Vengeance Aura. Scepter Illusion no longer has bonus move speed. Okay, great. Poison attack max stacks reduced by 1 on Viper. Whatever. talents got reduced a little bit. Magic resistance reduction decreased by 1%. And then poison attack slow damage decreased by 5%. This level 21 sounds a lot more painful, but it is level 20 talent, so it doesn't really matter. Windrunner lost 2 damage, and her slow went up by 5%, so that's nice for her. That pushes her a little bit more towards being a support than a core, but not a massive difference. And then Witch Doctor lost 5 damage on Death Ward per level. So mostly minor nerfs. Most of this will not change a lot. I think the big ones that to look out for are like these item changes, specifically Solar Crest. You're just not going to see as many Solar Crests anymore because of the self-cast and because of the mana cost. Those are the 2 biggest limiting factors there. So anyway, if this was helpful, guys, don't forget like and subscribe and check out my Vedota videos, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.